It's YouTube Wednesday! I'm going to make something I call a boggart box, which is basically just an actor scare distraction tool. It's really quick, it's really easy, and there's a lot of ways that you can mix it up. But basically, for starters, you're going to need a metal box of some kind. I've done this with a mailbox. I've done this with a toaster oven. I've done it with, lots of different metal boxes, just decorative metal boxes. This happens to be a toolbox, okay? But any metal box you can use for this haunt technique. And I'm going to go ahead and keep the box closed. I've already done this. But you need to make a good-sized hole in the back of the box. And to make this hole, I used a specialized tool, the claw end of a claw hammer. It worked really good. I just hit it a couple times and it kind of went right through. Great way to release tension. But you need the box because you're going to have a power cord coming out of this. So go ahead. The next thing you want to do is this box is going to make noise, and that's its main purpose. And I want to get it up off of the ground so that when it makes noise, it's amplified a little bit, kind of like a speaker. I don't want, I want all the metal side to be able to resonate and produce sound. So I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to glue just some 5-gallon bucket stir sticks to the bottom so I can raise this up and have a real nice drum sound out of it. Have a hot glue gun here. If your haunt gets super hot, then like in the off season, then you might want to not use hot glue and use like silicone or something, because in July, while it's just sitting there, it's very easy for that to heat and fall off. I'm not really worried about it with the hot glue that I use, because this is a resin impregnated super duper, just a heck of a hot glue, and it works really well. But with some glues, you might want to worry about it. Okay, get this guy glued on, and it doesn't matter, it's still just going to sit on it, just like it sits on the ground, and that's all that I need. But now it's going to be louder when something is knocking around in there. And what's going to knock around in there? I go to thrift stores all the time, and every time I see one of these, I buy one. It is a thumper massager. And basically, you plug it in. I have an outlet over here. You plug it in. It's got a high and a low, this one. And it's a massager. It's meant to massage your shoulders, and that does feel kind of nice. At a thrift store, they're normally around $10. I got this one for $3. I got this one for $10 at the same store. Some of them have a heat feature, and you just want to make sure when you use it, you don't turn the heat feature on. You never want to add heat into a haunted house if you can help it. So I'm going to go ahead and use the simpler one for this, because I've got it right here. So I'm going to get it turned on low, and I'm going to unplug it. I'm going to put it inside my box, and the cord goes out of that hole that we made. I'm just ferreting the cord through the hole. I now have my thumper massager inside of my metal box. I'm going to go ahead and close the box. You can also just throw a bunch of soda cans or beer cans inside of this, because everything that's metal and rattling around in here is just going to make better noise. So that's good too. I'm going to take a Christmas tree button. I also have used the electronic switches in the past, but for now I'm just going to use the button. And this is a very simple device that you're supposed to plug in to the wall outlet, and you plug all of your Christmas tree stuff into here, and then this big button sits on the ground outside of the tree and will let you turn on your lights with your foot or whatever, instead of having to crawl under the tree to get to your switches. In this instance, I'm going to take my cord from my thumper massager and plug it in to my Christmas tree switch. Now I'll plug in my Christmas tree switch to my outlet over here. And you can see that when I hit this button, I can make a heck of a noise come out of that box. It's not exactly enough to make the box jump around, but I'm willing to bet if you could bungee cord it in and, and hold it down and cut some holes in the bottom, this motor is strong enough to move the box around. So I'm just going to go ahead and hold this guy up. And I would, if I needed a lot of length on this cord, I would just cut this. I would splice in some of the same kind of cord, wire nut it together, make it a nice, clean, safe connection, and lengthen this as much as you want. And put this wherever your actor is hiding so that your actor can trigger this sound. So the guests are coming in the room, this box is on a shelf or something on the other side, or whatever it is. Maybe it's the front of a house and the actor's hiding behind the front door, but on the other side of the room you have a mailbox. So you put this inside the mailbox, and then the actor can trigger it, and then all the guests look at this box, look at the mailbox, and then he comes out. That way it's a good distraction technique. Or it actually gets a good little scare all by itself if they're just walking by it, because it's too small for a person to do. So just having that go off makes it kind of, like, whoa, what was that? The same thing as having a phone ring. If you can get guests to walk by a phone in your show and have the phone just ring while they're in the room and it's kind of quiet, that scares the heck out of people. But super simple, super fast, super easy. Doesn't take anything to do. But very useful, and you can apply the principle to a lot of different things.